Not just him, his parents were there too, nodding like vultures circling the last breath of an animal. Dead to them because I couldn't give them a child. Dead because I couldn't complete their picture-perfect dynasty. That night, they packed my clothes into a single suitcase and shoved it into the rain. No car, no money, not even my wedding ring. My name erased in one cruel sentence. I didn't cry. I just stood in the storm, suitcase in hand, and made a promise. One day, you'll regret the way you buried me. Back then, I still remembered the man I married, the laughter, the long drives, the whispered promises. He swore we'd take on the world together. But after 3 years of trying for a baby, I noticed the distance creeping in. The way his hand no longer reached for mine at night. The way his mother's eyes followed me, measuring me like defective merchandise. And then the whispers turned into accusations. Infertile, useless, a burden. I caught him once staring at a message on his phone, a woman's name I didn't recognize. His smile, warm, secretive, was one I hadn't seen in months. I asked, he denied, but the scent of betrayal was stronger than any perfume. By the time they cast me out, the betrayal was complete. It wasn't just my husband's choice, it was a family verdict. They didn't just break my heart, they erased my existence. So I erased them from mine. I left quietly, no court battles, no desperate begging. I moved to another city, changed my number, cut every thread. But silence is not surrender. Silence is strategy. 2 years later, fate handed me the miracle they swore I'd never have. My son. Not their bloodline, not their heir, mine. And not long after, I met Daniel, a man who looked at me not with pity, but with reverence. A man who built me up, who believed in my vision when I told him I would rise again. Together, we did more than survive, we thrived. Business, investments, power. Piece by piece, I built a life they would never comprehend. And then, when my son turned 2, I knew it was time. The plan wasn't revenge for revenge's sake, it was justice. Calculated, surgical, precise. First, I bought the company where my ex-husband worked, through an offshore firm, anonymous. Then, I waited until the layoffs came, watched from the shadows as his name appeared on the list. He never knew my signature sealed his unemployment. Next, I learned about their debts. The gambling his father hid, the mortgages stacked on properties they flaunted, all crumbling under the weight of poor decisions. So I sent an offer, through another intermediary, to buy their beloved estate, the mansion they once threw me out of. They accepted, desperate for cash, never knowing whose hands they were truly feeding. And for the finale, I arranged an invitation, a gala, an event dripping with wealth and status, hosted under Daniel's name. Their curiosity would pull them in, their pride too wounded to resist. The night arrived. I stepped off the private jet in a black dress that whispered power. Daniel at my side, sharp as steel. My son asleep in my arms, his tiny fist clutching the edge of my hair. The moment I entered, silence rippled through the crowd. And then I saw them, my ex-husband and his parents, standing stiff, their eyes widening, their jaws unhinged. Shock, recognition, fear. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. Every detail spoke for me. The jet, the man, the child. My ex's mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. My ex's father gripped his glass so tight it cracked. And my ex himself? He looked at my son, then at me, calculation spinning in his eyes. His lips parted as if to ask the question he didn't dare voice. Is he mine? I smiled, a slow, deliberate smile that offered no answers, only torment. Let him choke on that doubt for the rest of his life. They didn't approach me. They couldn't. All they could do was stand there, suffocating in silence, as I passed by with everything they swore I'd never have. I felt no pity, only the satisfaction of a promise fulfilled. They buried me once, but I rose higher than they ever dreamed possible. And when they saw me again, it wasn't as the broken woman they abandoned. It was as the woman who owned the roof over their heads, the job beneath his name, and the silence that would haunt them forever. I don't need their apology. I don't need their recognition. Their punishment is simple: to live every day knowing the woman they discarded came back untouchable. And the cruelest truth? They are dead to me now, completely.